Hello, beautiful people. How you doing today? This is Joseph here. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience at SoulShine 2024. It's such an amazing festival culture, and I feel like it has an exclusivity about it that makes it valuable for us to make these video diaries talking about it so that people that can't make it can get a feel for it, and people that are interested in attending in future years have a better idea of what they might be getting into. To summarize it real quick, SoulShine is amazing, a beautiful progression of human culture, human expression, human experience, the love. It's par none. So it is, yeah, really recommend it. I want to start by talking briefly about politics of it. So last year was at a place called Soul's Path, and this year it was at a new event. And then I know the people at Soul's Path are starting another festival, or they're creating their own event called Solstice. So I have no idea the details of what caused that breakup, or as it appears, a breakup. But I just want to mention that ownership is a very difficult thing. Um, and I think that's probably the root of most of the issues that might have arisen that made it so that Soulshine was no longer at Soul's Path. But I'm just speculating. Just wanted to address that. If you wanted to go to Soulshine but you couldn't, and you still want to go this year, Solstice is coming up like super fast. I think it's September 20th weekend. So there's an opportunity there for you to enjoy very close to the same environment, as far as I can tell. Very close. Don't know the key differences, but feel free to tell me in the comments or anything at your leisure. So this year at SoulShine, every single person in attendance was a volunteer, as well as contributing financially, as far as we've been told. And so I paid $300, and I told them, I'm like, I'll just do whatever you need, because I knew there would be a need in the kitchen. There was a need in the kitchen last year. I assumed they'd put me in the kitchen. They ended up putting me in security, and I'm totally awesome with that because it was something new experience for me, and I'm quite confident in my physical abilities and my ability to de-escalate conflicts. Well, there was no problem. Turns out when I said I'm going to sleep in my car, they're like, perfect, we have a job for you. And so they put me in my car to sleep in front of the gate. And so I did 2 shifts, and if you needed to go in or out during those times, you were waking me up, and it worked out pretty well. There was a few people that had to wake me up, but overall, people were not joining or leaving the festival during that late time that I was watching. So I loved it. I thought it was awesome. Definitely talked to a lot of people at the festival, and it's clear that the contributions from one volunteer to the next were not exact, which I don't think they ever could be. But I think it's a really cool model, and I hope they learned a lot from it. And I'm open to them doing it again, but I definitely would recommend giving people an option to just pay financially, because if the ticket price was $550, let's say, or $300, and you volunteer, somebody's going to pick that $550, and someone else is going to pick that $300. I like that, because choice is a beautiful thing. Anyway, I arrived on the Friday. I was really impressed by it right away. The property was gorgeous, is gorgeous. It is a property that's recovering from being a gravel pit like 10 years ago or something like that. And so there was a ton of work done by all the volunteers and to prepare for this festival. It was really amazing. I know when you prepare a festival, like when you're cutting bush and stuff like that, you do a lot of trauma to the land. So not only were we healing the gravel damage, but also our own present there. So hopefully they maintain the property in that manner. And because if they don't, then we're just going to have to do it all again next year. And that wouldn't be ideal for nature, but it's not for me to judge. It's just for me to send love into the land and be interested in the culture of building, these properties and healing them over a longer period of time. So that was really cool. I wasn't at the opening ceremony last year. I was only there for 36 hours, and it was kind of like condensed vibes. I'm an introvert, so I don't like to penetrate with the festival culture as much as some people. I need a little bit of space and an in-between room, which I found was very helpful for me. And so when I arrived at the festival, the first thing I did was I walked the grounds. And in walking the grounds, you find other introverts. This one gentleman, Nick, I found in the woods doing some like Tai Chi with a stick kind of vibe. Um, Seems like an awesome dude. We had a lot of great conversations over the weekend, and I think that's ultimately what the festival's about. It's about connecting with individuals and community. And so I connected with so many beautiful individuals, and I was so thankful to meet so many wonderful people, have so many wonderful talks, and share so much love transparently. Those are all beautiful things, and what a privilege for just $300. Like, and they fed us, which for me, the value of the festival was massive, well beyond what I paid for it. And I would definitely do my best to be there again next year, because yeah, it was a perfect time and a perfect example of the growth of alternative societies. We can really see that the staff, the ownership of the SoulShine, have learned a lot and have grown a lot, and that's just moving us forward. They had a slogan written on a sign, which I really like: learn the things by doing the things. And I think that's exactly what we need to do, is keep growing and keep learning as we can. I found the ceremony was a little long-winded. It was close to 2 hours of random people talking, and it gets a little egotistical, I think, when everyone has to thank, people, and they start naming off individual names. It's a little bit like, okay, so are we just going to celebrate this person and this person? Like, literally everyone here is a volunteer, so not as big into the name celebrating, but people have done a great job, and guys like Ines and Sarah, of course, like, they deserve all our love, respect, appreciation. But I think a middle ground, because 2 hours was really long. Yeah, that's just my opinion. I hope everyone has their own opinion about that as well. On the Friday night, a lovely gentleman named Trevor Cape was up on stage. He did amazing. It was my first time seeing him, and the way he was able to interact with the audience and get us singing like simple lines was perfect for me. I love singing with the bands that are playing. So I had a great time. I was super pumped for him and his performance. And I loved how, if you were volunteering as a musician, there was a lot of interpenetration between the different bands and the different artists and the members. Like, it was really, really cool. Yeah, at one point, someone was like reading a poem. A gentleman, I believe his name might have been Darren, was reading this poem or something, and my friend Andy, Black Suit Devil, was up there like just doing like this like artistic, elaborative sound just to help the story. Very cool, a very beautiful moment. I really love that. So that was great. And then my shift was in the night, as I mentioned, so I had to go take care of that. Get up in the morning. I was a little tired, of course, but I started the day with a community dance. We had an ecstatic dance somewhere around noon or something like that. It was awesome. I had a fantastic time with that. Ecstatic dances are fantastic indeed. Then I went to a men's circle. First time ever being to a men's circle. Really funny to me. So the men's circle and the women's circle are like close to each other. And you like go out into this opening and you see the women's circle, and it looks like, like fairy tale like structures, all clean and nice. And then the men's circle, of course, is in the cedars in the woods, and it's just like a little path or a little area that was cleared, and a little like tiny fire pit, and that was it. And I was like, yeah, that's how it is. But it was amazing. It was my first time participating in anything like that, and it really challenged me. We had like a non-disclosure thing, so I can't get into the details with you. But if you're interested in doing women's work or men's work, I would definitely recommend it. The potential to grow emotionally and to build greater connectivity and compatibility with your same gender peers seems to be very, very worth your time. So I was very happy, and I'm actually connecting with the people that were organizing that, and looking for my opportunity to learn and grow more because of how impactful it was. The entire festival, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and even Monday morning, they gave us food and coffee and tea and drinking water. And again, for $300, like, to feed me that much is pretty profound. Like, the value I got was well beyond that 300. The food was awesome. It's all vegan. Um, yeah, I mean, it wasn't always perfect in distribution. It wasn't always perfect in every way, but it was perfect enough that I was very happy. And if they can keep improving on that each year, then it's going to be even more perfect next year, and I'm sure I'll be even more happy with it. So, really, hats off to everybody that was involved with the cooking and the preparation and everything kitchen related. MVPs in my mind, the hardest job in my mind. Some people could say otherwise, but it's my opinion. Then I took I wanted to mention they had a pond on the property, and that was awesome to go swimming. And they had a sauna, so you could do a little bit of a cold hot, cold hot. It was really nice. I had a great time. Dipped in the pond at least 3 or 4 times, maybe even 5 or 6 over the course of the 2 warm days, and that was really cool. It's a great touch for sure. Just want to mention there was a tops optional. So I think that's really great to see and to integrate within the community. I know in prior years, like seeing a breast like out, randomly is kind of exciting for men, especially single men. So allowing myself that opportunity to grow maturely and be like, okay, she's over there. That's cool. She might be beautiful. I'm not going to look too much. I'm going to be respectful here as best I can. So I liked that opportunity. I think the world does need to get a lot more comfortable with our bodies. That's just my opinion. Definitely difficult with children around and the concern around sexualization. So I can appreciate that it's a fine balance. But I think the culture and the reaction of the community I felt was good. Like the women seem comfortable, the men seem comfortable, the kids seem comfortable. Okay, great, perfect. Moving forward, I went and I took a food and medicine foraging workshop, and that was really cool to learn. All mustard seed plants are edible, and some of the plants that you can eat, and some of the ones you can't, and some of the logics, and I might even be able to identify poison ivy now, which most people can't. And so to have learned those skills was very valuable, and I was very thankful to be able to do that. So thank you, Brian and Keith, for sharing your wisdom there. Then I went and checked out a band called the Bahadra Collective. They played like a classic rock vibe, which was really cool. Very like funky 70s, 80s, if I'm remembering correctly. They did a fantastic job. It was so fun. Everybody was having a great time. And then the Saturday night, I didn't have to work, so I was able to participate with my friends and go to the evening glow stage, which was like the rave stage or the dance stage. And there was some amazing artists there. The first one I got introduced to, um, I don't want to mispronounce the gentleman's name, so I won't say the lady's name who I remember, but a violinist and like a club music guy. They did a great job. It was a very cool contemporary fusion. I wasn't sure how it was going to work, but they did a fantastic job. And then we had like another dance and then another dance. And just the whole artistic expression of the event is incredible because they have like art stations. They had a giant mural you could paint and a bunch of like visualizers and stuff all around and some art that was done. And so it feels very magical, very much kind of like the vibe behind me here. Very cool, very good times. The dance that we had was so incredibly joyful. I loved watching the people dance and dancing myself. Like there was a lot of energy and a lot of very very cool vibes. Anyway, that night goes well. The first night was rainy and thundery, so it was tough on a lot of people. But the second night went really well, like for sleeping. And then in the morning, we had the gentleman, Ariel, I believe his name is, doing breath work. He did it last year, which I attended and met some really great friends. And the breath work was one of the highlights, no doubt. I mean, there's so many, but it was really profound, like really meaningful work. I was very thankful to be able to participate. Wonderful reminders, wonderful lessons, and definitely stuff that we got to keep doing if we want to keep healing and growing, as we all do. So, love that. It's very awesome. I went to the healing forest. I don't know if the rules were very clear for everybody, but I understood you could go once per day. And so I did a meditation with a lovely couple of healers the first day. And on the second day, I had the opportunity to speak to somebody about emotional therapy. And I was going and am going through some stuff in my personal journey that I don't care to share in this video. And it was very helpful. And I'm sure a lot of people really love the Healing Forest. I loved it last year as well. What an amazing contribution. Again, massive value, massive opportunity. Loved it. On this Sunday, I took a little bit more of a casual, slow moving kind of vibe. So I went to the Vibe tent and I did some painting. I painted a rock and I got my friend Alicia, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly, to do some face painting on me, which is the first time I ever had that. So that was very cool environment. And I was very thankful, very intimate getting your face painted. And it kind of feels like a massage too. So highly recommend body painting as a fun, intimate practice. Good times, for sure. And then I met a wonderful, incredible lady, Ava, who did a workshop on off-grid living. And the stories she shared were freaking amazing. And you could really feel like you were there and you were vicariously living it through her. And she was a lot more real and organic than most people have the capacity to be. So it was very nice to listen to her share her wisdom, her experience, and her talking about recycling everything was so very inspiring. And she did mention that she's really been working on community, and hopefully she's found some more community and building more community as well. So hats off to her, and thank you again for sharing your wisdom, Alea. And then going into the evening, Zaria, I believe her name was Zara. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. A little out of sorts, but she produced this play, and it was so beautifully organic and humble. And she involved kids, and I had a great time. From what I did watch of it, I did have other things I had to do in midway point in preparation for the evening, but I thought it was really cool. I thought it was very awesome. And then Ashley Gilmore was sort of organizing and fronting a bunch of musicians who were playing that evening, and they all did a fantastic job. It was such a cold night, and I wasn't properly prepared, so I was freezing real bad, and I couldn't get her whole set. But everything I heard while I was there was fantastic from Andy and Blaze, and like the music and the culture there, very exceptional, very soulful, very real. And that's a lot of my experience of SoulShine. I'm somebody who really likes to meet new people. Like I probably, out of the 350 people there going into it, I probably was on a first name basis personally with about 25 to 35 of them, and then knew of another 35 or 40 of them. So I love to meet new people. And so every opportunity I had to sit down for a meal, I pretty much always was sitting down with somebody else. And I love that. I think that's where I want to be, meeting new people. I love the people I already know, of course, but this is a festival that I won't have a chance to meet a lot of those people in any other place. So to meet them there was great. And so many beautiful souls. You could definitely, like, thinking of the spirit of the festival, you could definitely feel there was some fear somewhere. There was definitely some anxiety. There was definitely, those regular things from the real world that we don't like. But for the most part, there was an endless amount of friendliness, unconditional love, understanding, beauty, culture, and people were sharing it as abundantly as they can. And I appreciated my opportunity to do the same. I bought a SoulShine t-shirt. Very happy to wear that and help promote the festival. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got a small bit of the feel of the festival. It was fantastic, and I can't wait to do it again. So much love, much blessings, and if you have any questions, I'm here for you. If you want to connect, I'm here for you. Thanks again for checking it out, and have a wonderful day. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.